Alright, this is the second installment of the origin of Halloween, and this video is specifically about trick-or-treating. We are going to talk about the origin, why we do it, where it came from, when it all started. Let's get started. To kind of set the scene for this, I encourage you to watch my previous video about the origin of the name Halloween. It might help kind of lay the groundwork for this video. Link will be in the description. Go watch that first and then come back. I'll still be here. Now there is a very early almost version of the treat part of trick-or-treating, and basically what that was, in my previous video I kind of talk about how the Christian church was kind of converting pagan holidays into Christian versions of it. The church created a holiday, All Souls Day, to kind of replace pagan holidays like Samhain and Lemurium. And instead of the pagan traditions of offering treats and pouring milk on graves, the church said, no, you should pray for souls stuck in purgatory. So beggars would go house to house and beg for treats in exchange for prayers. And that's kind of the first sign of treats being offered. But in reality, that doesn't have much connection to the term trick-or-treating or its origin. That's just kind of like a fun little tidbit piece of history. So, the more you know. Moving on. You know from my previous video that Samhain, which became Halloween, was developed by the Celts, which is now Ireland area. So around this time, there were a lot of immigrants, and they brought with them a lot of the traditions associated with Samhain. I explained more about Samhain in my previous video, so go check that out. But basically, it is a day of the year scene where the dead can commingle with the living, and it is very spooky, which led to a lot of ghost stories, mischievous behavior, and tricks, basically. The immigrants kind of brought those traditions to America. Now, this was also around the time of the war. This is important because of all the lost soldiers and unmarked dead bodies, people not only had this huge fascination with like death and souls, they also had a lot of pent-up frustrations. That led Halloween to become kind of a day to vent their frustrations. The holiday was already associated with tricks, and because of all the pent-up anger and frustration, the tricks started to get a little more extreme. So they would like move steps from the front of people's houses, so people would fall when they left their house. They would open gates and the animals would escape from farms. And during the Great Depression, that was horrible for farmers. They would derail cars and start fires. It was very dangerous pranks. And people started to hate the holiday. It became this horrible day that no one wanted. It became Mischief Day, and teenagers and kids would wear masks and go and basically cause all kinds of chaos on that day. So people were like, no, we need to stop this. They came up with ideas to distract the kids and basically keep them off the streets. They would throw parties and have parades, but one woman had the genius idea of bribery. She was offering treats from her house. The treats at the time were like popcorn balls and candy apples, but she would offer them to the kids running around. So kids would go to her house and she would give them treats, and she said, wow, this was a great success. No pranks were pulled on me. So the idea spread. People started to capitalize on it. Candy companies were developing at the time and they got involved, so people started giving out candy to kids. Since people were already wearing masks and costumes so that they could pull pranks, why not capitalize on that and make them costumes? And then costume companies started to get involved and decided to make costumes specifically for Halloween, and it became like a marketed holiday again. And then after a couple more years, the term trick-or-treat came into existence because literally this woman was offering these kids treats so that they didn't trick them. That's the origin of the term trick-or-treating. Now, this was a really summarized version. There's a lot of extra details that I left out for the sake of making this video like not obnoxiously long. If you want to learn more, I will put links of the resources I used in the description. They're really interesting. If you are curious for more details about it, go check those out. Thanks for watching, and as always, one world, one people, spread the love. Bye! Basically basically during the Great Depression, people started to use Halloween as if it was the purge, and people were like, no, no, this is bad for me, and started to bribe kids with candy so that they wouldn't destroy their stuff. That's the synopsis of this video. Well, you know,